And so I am going to be training tonight on lead generation. And I know we've kind of talked about this a little bit already at January Jumpstart. And we've had a couple of little things. And if you listen to the hotline today, it's a great lead generator. Um, but I wanted to give my own little spin on it too, and what has kind of worked for me in the past. And I'm training on this because I actually need to get some bookings on my books. I was kind of relying on my brides there for a little while, and they've kind of slowed down a little bit. And so I'm like, okay, I need to get my butt back in gear and get some more leads generated. So what better way? And I know, I don't know about the rest of you girls, but I know my girls, Kenzie and Jordan, I know you guys are struggling with leads right now too. So this is going to be great for you guys. So lead generation is just making sure that you always have a pool of people that are your ideal client to work with. This is, the lifeline of our business. If you're not seeing new faces, your business will grow stagnant and lose momentum. And you guys have heard us talk about that a lot. Reorders are fantastic and a huge avenue of income for us. But if we start to look at reorder business as the extra money, and make your weekly sales goal happen from the new faces, then you're going to be building that extra to be stronger and more financially fulfilling. So even if you already have a good customer base, making sure that you are adding new people every week is going to help you get better and better and better and grow your business. Okay, so I'm going to give you my top 5. The number 1 is referrals. So this is the Mary Kay way. Getting referrals from your customers already. Our company business model is set up for sharing. The guests at our parties, they love the product, right? Everybody always has a good time, whether they buy or not. They love the product. They love the way it feels. They love the customer service they're getting, and they're having fun with you. They buy you as much as they do the product. And so these referrals are going to be considered hot referrals because they will talk about how much fun they had with the people, with their friends, with their family, and how much they love the products personally. So there are a ton of referral games out there. We have a ton of them on the Future Inspired Area page. You can get on Facebook, Pinterest, Google, and find tons of them. So I'm not going to go over those. But what I like to do is when I have them flip over their profile card, and on the back right side, there's like a section for referrals. So at some point, I will play a game with them, and I really just say to them, the best compliment you can pay me as your consultant is to share me with your friends. And so you can gift your friends a free facial, and they'll get a $10 gift certificate or gift with purchase when they book. And it's just whatever you want. I go by the seat of my pants and whatever I have extra of. So if I have like a lot of mascara, I might just give away a mascara for booking. Do whatever fits you, what you like. I like to do these referral games while the mask is drying. If you do a mask, not everybody has mask in their starter kit. So if you don't have one, then I like to do them while the moisturizer is soaking in and before you start the dash out the door look, because it takes just a few minutes to do the game, and then they've got time in between steps. I'll just start some music on my phone and be like, hey, you got 3 minutes to write down as many people as you can think of. I don't need their names and numbers yet, but just whoever has the most is going to get something from me. And it's usually just something small. And you can, like I said, there's so many ways out there. Mine is just super simple because I like things to be super simple. And another thing about this is that confidence grows with each referral you receive. So I like to make it a game to see if I can get a personal record for referrals from a single party, and just keep at it and make it fun for me and see if I can do better, because the more you get, the more your confidence grows in asking for them. And the follow-up is the most important. So you hear us say all the time that fortune's in the follow-up, but don't let these leads go unworked, because they are, like I said, they're coming from people who love the product already and who had a good time with you. I think it was Kristen Sharp in her ABCs of lead generating. She said that she'll take a selfie with her, with the guest, with each guest. And so when she does text them, she'll send them the picture, so she can see that they're having fun and all the good stuff. If you didn't hear that, you want to go back and listen to it. It's archived. So number 2 is to get bookings from your bookings. And if you aren't getting these, you're missing opportunities for growth. I have historically really struggled with bookings from bookings because I was not confident enough in my systems in place to make that happen. And I've grown a lot with that. And it's not even just getting bookings for no more skincare parties, but I've gotten really good at booking the same people for a different kind of party. And so, work on your strengths. That's my strength. Um, Making sure that you have hostess program in place and know it and memorize it and be excited about it. That way you can be off the cuff with it and just, if you're excited about it, then you're definitely going to get them excited about it.
Can
So
we
some
talk
of the
about
other,
everybody's favorite? I'm so sorry to interrupt, but
no, go ahead.
what's working? Like, what are people doing for their hostess plans? What do you like? What's working?
For me,
Yeah.
I honestly very rarely do a hostess plan because I've been working with the brides and I treat them
Okay.
so much differently. But the ones that I do like are the 200 and free to party with me. I think that's the one I've had the most success with, although it's been a year. So
Okay.
just
Okay.
transparent. But the 200 and free to party with me, I think the reason I like that one, and you guys can find that on the Future Inspired area page too. I think the reason I like it so much is because it's really working full circle. So it's getting outside sales, sales from the party, holding their party when they original, so I'm not having to reschedule it. Um, Bookings, and then listening to the opportunity. And that's not just, I like to give it away for having an actual conversation with me, not just listening to the marketing video. The marketing video is great and I think it serves a purpose, but I've already gotten in with them because they're in front of me. And so I want to make sure I'm taking advantage of that and having a conversation with them.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so there's different kind. I'm going to give you guys some class ideas for bookings from your bookings because, like I said, I like to book the same people for something different. So you always got your basic skincare, right? Miracle or Repair. You can do the basic glamour, which the basic glamour is really just a color card and foundation CC cream, you guys. You can teach them all kinds of things with just those two things. You don't have to have all the makeup to make that happen. Glamour appointments are what I call like all, because I have all of the product and demo. And so I've invested in that. And so when I have a color party, like I sell a lot of makeup, especially with the brides because they are excited about doing makeup. Birthday facials, I always offer the birthday girl a discount. You can do whatever you want to for that. It could be as big or as little. I do 15%. Of course, Hydra sessions, those are always a really popular one. And now that February is right around the corner, Galentine's facials, they were such a hit for me last year. I rebooked so many of those from previous customers. So I would just contact all my girls that I knew were girly girls. And I would just be like, hey, you want to have a Galentine's party and just get all your friends together and let's come over to my house and have a party. And we would do facials, we would do hydra sessions, but I'd have candles lit and non-alcoholic drinks and fancy glasses and Dove chocolate on the table and little confetti hearts and just make it really girly and fun. I probably did 8 or 9 of them in February last year, and they were so much fun. You can even make it food theme if you want and ask them each to bring something to share. A lot of girls are really into that, so it's kind of fun. There's body care spa day sessions. Our skin is super dry right now, as you guys can all probably feel, even with the best of products, it's still drying. So taking care of our body and offering all the body care items that we have. Fragrance parties. If you don't have fragrances and you're on my team, like, or I don't mind letting you borrow them. Fragrance parties are so much fun, especially around Valentine's Day. Have them have a wish list and they can smell and feel stuff and then make a wish list and give you their sweetie's name for gifts. And then there's just a few more. I've done a booster and supplements education class where I just have a bunch of girls come over and we just talk about those. Eyebrows is a great one. I haven't done that one, but I've seen people do them and they work great. People want to know how to do their brows, and you can make that last a whole half hour or longer. Luscious lip party, masking parties. There's so many options out there, you guys. If you just look up party ideas, like there's tons of them. And if you get 2 bookings from every party, then your business will grow exponentially just from that alone. Yes, April.
I'm going to create my own parties and invite all my customers to it. And I'm going to do a peel and pucker party.
Ooh,
So
I'm gonna write that down.
facial peel with lipstick or lip gloss, whatever. I'm going to have them all, I have all the demos. So I'm going to have them do that. And then we'll do, I don't know, something fun with that. And then I'm going to do a hydro session as well.
Yes.
I love that.
In
Peel and pucker.
separate.
The peel and pucker is one party, but the hydro session will be a separate, of course. Yeah.
I love that.
One will be, they leave with lips and
Yeah.
clean skin, but the the Hydra session, I don't know, it just wouldn't work that well. But yeah.
I love the Hydra sessions. All my girls who have come to that just leave with their skin feeling so good. And I've sold so many of those roll-up bags. I let them customize the roll-up bag because sometimes they don't want to invest in all of it, but maybe like just pieces of it. But it's still a great tool. Okay, number 3 is facial boxes. I hated these to begin with, but they do work. So doing an enter to win free full-size charcoal mask. That's what I always did. I would draw from all of my leads for the week and give them a charcoal, like draw somebody for a charcoal mask. I wouldn't draw from each. Well, I had picture frames. So I wouldn't draw from each one. I would draw from all of them combined together. And then everybody gets a facial consultation. Make sure to use your referrals and bookings from bookings on all of these entries. So like asking them for referrals and booking them for other parties, not just the facials, keeping the repeating cycle. And you need to have at least 10 to 20 out at a time minimum. Like, I know that seems like a lot, but remember, if each box only gives you 2 names, then that seems like you have nothing, right? If you only have 1 box out, you're like, this isn't working. But if you have 20 boxes out and get an average of 2 names per box, that's 40 leads each week. You're getting that. So the bigger the scale, the bigger the return. I used dollar store picture frames. They were super cheap. I just put in a scan your QR code, which you can make on Canva. I think we even have that in one of the trainings on how to do that. Or you can do, I know, a little glass jar with a little ribbon tied around it, or just a box with your thing on it. But the thing is that you want to make it look cute. If it looks gaudy, like no offense to anybody who has gaudy boxes, but if it does, what was that?
I've seen some gaudy ones out there.
I know. I've seen some gaudy ones, and they're going to get pushed to the back. They're not attractive. People aren't going to look at them. So you really want them to be aesthetically pleasing. Let's see what else about that. Oh, bars, bathroom bars at the bars is a great place because girls are like, ooh, girly, put stuff in them. Bathrooms anywhere, honestly, restaurants, nail salons, laundromats, like you sit down and there's always a shelf across from you and it's empty. And you can always just put your thing up there, like a little QR code. All they have to do is scan it with their phone. Everybody takes their phone with them everywhere they go. So you know they're going to have it. And they're not going to be distracted by what else is going on. You can also do a $5 gift certificate from that business to anyone who books a party. I know that's something that Kristen Sharp was talking about in one of her trainings. I can't remember how long ago. I didn't do that because I had a hard time keeping track of everything, which brings me to my next point is that you really have to have a good tracking sheet. I know that Allie shared one with us a while back. I will try to find it, but it's got like the name, where the leads were gotten from, or where they were received, proper English, Heidi. And like how many times she followed up with them and what day of the week she's checking those boxes and just keeping it really organized so that she wouldn't miss out on things. And then that brings me to my last point of this one is that you want to make sure you're checking the box the same time every week, or at least the same day, like the same day of the week, because it makes you predictable. And when you bring goodies with you every single time, whether it's like little Hershey Kisses or something similar, maybe some samples or a thank you card for the manager that you handwritten, just mix it up because they're getting something different each week. And psychology actually shows that when you show up with a token of love and appreciation, it makes the recipient that much more excited to see you every single time. So, bring your temptation basket with you and sit on the counter and let them look through it while you service your box. Even if you don't have any names, sit over there and pretend that you're servicing your box because it gets them excited about looking through what you have in your temptation basket. It helps to build the relationship with them. And you can also ask to leave a few of last season's catalogs. I don't like to leave my current ones because I work through them, but if you have old ones, those are perfect to leave there. You just want to make sure they're stamped and they have your name and number and website on them. Okay, so any questions about that one, facial boxes? Okay, number 4, I'm going through this way too fast, but number 4 is social media. Okay, so this has been a really big one for me. I love my social media leads because they're always like so great and they're excited. As Mira Dunnick shared with us at January Jumpstart, like 80, I think it was either 80 or 85% of people get their information from social media. That's just what they are. So having a presence is crucial if you want to use this as a source for leads. Have you noticed the amount of selling that has been happening from social media? I mean, I get on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, and it's like celebrities and influencers posting name brand commercials that they've made on their own personal social media. And this is just how our world is working. You know, we don't have commercials on TV anymore. Everything is on social media, and that is where they're getting them. You know, we used to have magazines and newspapers, and those have just kind of all dwindled. They're still there, but they're a lot smaller. So even the big corporations are relying on social selling to get their name out there. And we are no different. And we have a way, I just want to say we have a better way of doing things. And so it gives us credibility right off the front. So some of the places where I source leads from is from mommy Facebook groups, neighborhood groups, and then, you know, you have your VIP customer group, but the mommy groups and the neighborhood groups are where I get the most from. So if you're not a mom, that's okay. Find some group that has something that you can identify with, that you can be a part of, whether it's like a church group or there's running groups. There's so many, you guys. Like you can go out there and find anything that you're into. Dance, taking your kids to the park. Like they have groups for everything that are for the Boise area. And so I will get in there and I will have people say like, my kid is breaking out with acne and I don't know why. What do you guys recommend? And I jump in there as fast as I can. I'm like, da, 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 you know, or one time a girl her daughter had snow burnt, like from being out in the snow and the sun, like her lips were chapped so bad. And I was like, I will bring you satin lips right now and drop it off on your porch. You don't even have to pay me for it. I just want you to use it and then give me a review. And that was probably one of the best social selling things I did, because that mom got on there the next day and posted her daughter's lips looking like almost perfectly new again. And I think I sold like 50 satin lip sets that weekend. It was like all the moms were like, okay, we're going to do this. Granted, the follow-up on those ones have been a little bit harder to follow up with. But it's like, that's what we do. We talk about Stanley. We talk about all these things, right? And it's like, that's where people are out there sharing what they love. And so if you can I don't like to get on Facebook every day, but I will check my groups probably every 2 or 3 days. And I'll actually go into the search bar and type in keywords. So maybe I'll type in Mary Kay, because sometimes people are looking for a Mary Kay person and I miss it. Or I'll type in skin or makeup, mascara, and they will pop up with people who are asking questions about it. And then I jump in there. And if there's a lot of people who are already in there, you know, there's always 2 or 3 Mary Kay people that are in those groups too. So if somebody else has already reached out to her, I won't, because that's the go give spirit. But if nobody has, or if the people are just, I don't know, recommending department store mascara, I'm going to definitely jump in there and try to help them. Okay. All right.
Heidi, can I just share one thing? Because I got this over the weekend. I've had this before where I keep getting messages from Facebook user 7,300 telling you that they're taking down your page because of a post and blah, blah, blah. And they've done it on my Mary Kay page twice now. It's a scam. And something told me, don't even open it. Don't even go down the rabbit trail. So really kind of watch that, because you know, about trademark issues or whatever. And it looked legit, but something told me not to open it. And I guess I didn't open it, so I don't know what would happen. But I talked to a couple of people and they said, yeah, that's a scam. So kind of watch out for that stuff. You might get targeted when you have, because I have probably 3 or 4 or 5 Facebook pages, and that happens a lot. So
it actually happened to me recently with my Heidi Lee photography page. They were saying that my photos were stolen and that they were copyrighted. And I'm like, I took those. Like, I know they're not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I have another point to add to that. There is one going around of Mary Kay, like we're using a copyright illegally or something like that. We're violating a copyright of Mary Kay, but we're consultants. But like that's another scam that's going around. And people are getting like Facebook messages from some random account that's like guest 754
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever.
one of the ones I got. I got two.
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
if it's legit, you'll get it in the mail. Like that's just something I would like to make sure everyone's aware of, because I know of a few people, I have a few friends who actually fell for that and clicked the
Yeah.
link and ended up getting hacked. So never click on a link ever, ever, ever if you don't know where it's coming from.
Never. That is one of the first things they taught us at the bank. Don't ever click a link, period. Okay, so another part of social media is your customer group. So, our personal pages can now have a call to action. And so it used to be that we couldn't do call to actions. Now we can. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit in a second. But on your personal page, you can start a live, or you can do a little video and do a little bit on your personal page and only give them a snippet of what you're doing, and then let them know if they want to see the rest. They can send you a DM or comment below with a keyword to be added to your VIP group. And, that's a good way to it's like a hook. You got to think of a hook of what you want. And maybe we could do a training just on that too, because there's a lot that goes into that. But, you get a hook, you get them on, and then they want to see more. So they want to be added to your customer group. Always, of course, ask the go give questions. Do you have a consultant already that you work with? We don't ever want to take business from somebody else. Now, in your personal page and your VIP, it's so important to share your life. And I'm actually revamping mine right now because I haven't been sharing quite enough. And so I'm going to be doing some things differently this year. But you want to share like general things with the public page, and then a little more deeper on the same subject in your customer group. That way they get to see the deeper you. So you can share your story and why you do MK. The only thing you can't share is your earnings on your personal page. You can share why you do it, your hobbies, your family, your successes, and even your challenges. And that's a really big one. People want to be able to relate to you. And when you show up authentically, then we're attracting people who want to trust you. And this helps in building that relationship, even if it's not in real life. It still is real life. And then sharing products. So like a Makeup Monday or Tip Tuesday or Winning Wednesday. For Winning Wednesday, you can share a success from your week. And Thankful Thursday, you can talk about blessings and the power of gratitude. I would suggest going live on a Saturday and just share a few things that happened in your week. Sunday self-care, maybe you take a selfie doing self-care, whatever that looks like. And it doesn't have to be Mary Kay related. It could be drinking your water, going for a walk, having your devotional time, whatever is self-care is for you. And anybody who likes or comments is seeing your posts. They're not the only ones, but they are the ones that are interacting. So it's really important to respond to them. This is an area of growth for me because I will sometimes just end up liking their comment and not really responding. But when you ask open-ended questions around their comment, then it gets that conversation going and you can take it to your private messages. Also going to their pages and liking one of their recent posts. I say recent because that is important. And then commenting on it as well and watching their stories and interacting with them. Stories are where people share a lot of their day-to-day stuff. And if you just scroll through it and tap through them, it doesn't really mean anything. But if you give it a heart or you comment on it, that means a lot to the person who's posting it. And so when you do that with them, then they're going to do it with you. These things are going to help build that rapport for when you do reach out to them in their DMs and talk to them about what you have to offer. Kind of already talked about this stuff. Let's see here. The hotline message today, so good. So if you didn't listen to it, it's about offering a business of the month highlight. So she suggests finding 12 friends who own a business, women ran, if you desire that, and have her create an advertisement that you can share. And then you get contact with her client base in return. It's something you want to make sure that the advertisement is something that the clients will respond to, like a call to action that has value to them, which that whole call to action thing, I really think we do need a training on that. In fact, I'm going to take a note here because I feel like that's something. Call to action and hook videos. Okay. I think that's something that is super important in our training. And then this brings me to like, what is your ideal client, right? So you need to really know who your ideal client is and your target market. And then think of who else you know that owns a business that might have the same ideal client, right? Because they're going to share your stuff with their people. And so you're going to get a bigger group of people to pull from for leads. And you can send this out on your Facebook page, email, text group, and then just have them do the same for you, which is really cool. Does anybody have any questions about the social media part of it? I lost myself in my notes here because I started rambling. Okay. Conversational booking is number 5. This is the difference between going out with intention of finding people and just living your life and being authentic with it and talking to people you come in contact with. When I first started conversational booking, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Target and I'm going to do this for an hour and then I'm going to see how many people I can talk to. That is not the right way to do it. The right way to do it is to just be really super authentic. You're going to use your ideal client list and look for those people when you're out and about doing the things that you already do, like going to the grocery store, the sales clerks, mail vendors, meet people in line with you. I've actually met quite a few people standing in line. And then it's important to compliment them, but be generous and real. You know, it's just kindness. Our world needs so much more kindness. And I noticed that when I'm super kind to somebody, they are like blown away by it. They're just like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Nobody's ever said that to me before, or nobody noticed that. That they're so appreciative of it. And so you're really coming from a higher frequency. Like, do you know what the highest frequency comes from? Do you guys know?
Gratitude.
Gratitude and appreciation.
Yeah. And authenticity. Being authentic. I just read this podcast, but I think gratitude is the highest, but authenticity is right up there. And when you're coming from a genuine place, you're going to attract the people that you want to be working with. Like I said, don't schedule time to go out and do it. Just add it to your daily habits and make it a routine part of your life. And if you don't get out of the house, maybe making that part of your goal. Like, what do I like to do? What are my hobbies? You know, do I like to go to the grocery store and go shopping? Would I rather do my order online? You know, do I like to go to the coffee shops? There's all kinds of places to meet people. And so I had to really, especially after COVID, I had to look at myself and be like, okay, like I quit doing so many things. Like I have so many things automated for me now that I kind of have been to Fred Meyer so many times in the past 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm like, oh, this is actually really fun. And so just looking at your life and your daily habits and seeing where you might be able to drop this in. You guys have heard me talk about mesh bags and blessing bags. I saw a girl, I can't remember where. Oh, I think it was on Jamie Taylor's director meeting. She was doing a training on blessing bags. And I just want to add this because I thought it was great. She gets pink organza bags and purple organza bags and white organza bags. And can you guess what they're for? Pink is for normal to dry, purple's for combo, and white's for repair. And she just gives them like a full set of skincare samples. It's not just a sample. Like it's actually, like I usually do just like a charcoal mask and a lip gloss or something, but she's giving the whole thing they need for a virtual facial. And then she's saying, I have some high-end skincare samples with me. If I gave them to you, would you like to use them? And then she's getting buy-in like right off the bat, which I'm like, this is genius. Like, it's just the way that you word things sometimes make the biggest difference in getting somebody's buy-in. And then when they say yes, you're going to be like, where am I at here? I got to say it how she says it because it's so good. Oh, I'm going to text you the instructions on how to use them. What's your number? Like, how easy is that? I'm going to text you the instructions for how to use these. So what's your number? And she just already has her phone pulled out and ready to go. And then following up is crucial. So asking them right now, what day works best to follow up with you? You don't know what their week is like. They might have a really crazy busy week. Maybe Sundays are best. So just asking them gives you permission to follow up with them. You are getting, I already said that. You're getting the buy-in that you want. Yes. Okay. So if you do this 5 days a week and you get 5 new leads a day, okay, which that might seem like a lot at first, but you'll notice that once you do it, it's pretty simple. That's 25 new leads a week and 100 a month. So if only half of those hold, that's 50 new leads a month of actual customers, if half of them actually hold an appointment. And even if 25% of them hold, it's still 25 new customers. Like that's a lot. What would that do to our businesses? The one lesson that I learned was don't give out business cards or samples if you have zero intention of getting their phone number. I did this all wrong for like the first year of my business. I would pass out my business card to everybody I saw. Because I heard somebody say, Mary Kay Ash would say, if they're within a 3-foot circle of you, you give them your card, but you also have to get their number. And so I definitely learned that the hard way. And so I just challenge you guys to maybe try some of these things for even just a couple weeks. Like, how about just from now to the end of January, make it a point of like working a few of these leads here and there and watch how your confidence grows in those little tiny wins. And you'll start to notice that the people that you want to work with are the ones that you notice. And it's the littlest thing you can do that'll really increase your lead volume. And I'm going to share with you really quick my ideal client form. I actually got this from I'll post this on the page on the group too, but it's actually from a workshop that I did at a women's retreat. And it's for any kind of business, but I loved this because it was like, hey, what does my ideal client love to do? Like what, and I know that we say our ideal client is anybody that has skin because anybody that has skin needs Mary Kay, but really get into like who you would connect with. Like who would you be able to just walk up to and have a conversation with and feel really confident in that. Okay. So what do they love to do? What is their physical health like? I love this one. If my client were weather, what kind of weather would they be? And then you can do in this box, she told us to draw a picture of our ideal client, but I'm not an artist. So I just wrote out like all the physical attributes, and then my client's core values are, and their strengths, and then their personal and professional goals. And what I noticed when I was doing it was that, so many of those things that I identify with are my strengths and my core values and my personal goals. And so when you write it down and you're working on that, you're going to be seeing more and more of that because what we look for, we find, right? Okay. And then the other one I was going to share with you really quick is the 60 guests in 6 minutes. I know you guys have seen this before and it's in your new consultant orientation. And we talk about that then, but you guys, we can use this now too. So if you are having trouble thinking of some people right off the bat to start with, just fill this form out and see where it takes you, and if you've got some coworkers or your spouse's friends, and then just use the referral game to ask them, who here can you share me with? And some of these people might have already been facialed by you, just to jog your memory of who you can reach out to schedule more bookings with. Okay, so that is all I have for training tonight, but I want to leave it open. I made it short and fast so that we could have some open discussion about some of these, because I know that it's not just me that's struggling right now. I think it's all of us for the most part. And so I know some of us are really rocking and rolling, but lead generating is kind of a daunting task sometimes. And so I want to leave it open for you guys to share what you want to try, what you're excited about, or if you've done something that maybe I didn't cover, if you would like to share that.
Great ideas. Awesome ideas. The hotline today was phenomenal too.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
I had kind of a add-on to the facial boxes, the photo frames, that kind of thing. I have not done this yet, but I was thinking about it as you were talking. And back in my banking days, I remember that I used to have, the apothecary jars. So it's like a little glass jar and it has like the little lid with the little like circle handle kind of a thing on it. They're called apothecary jars. And we used to have our bank logo put on those and taken around to different businesses. And then as we would go back to those businesses, we would always fill that jar with like M&Ms or, like something like that. Because again, like you said, it reminds the people that you're coming, you're consistently going back and checking on them. And then that like puts that like good feeling of candy, like, oh, I'm so excited, the candy girl's here from the bank, that kind of thing that puts that, that spin on it. And obviously apothecary jars are going to be a little bit more expensive than, you know, a facial box or a dollar store frame, but you could always do like the jar, like a mason jar or something like that, and you could put it next to the photo frame. Or if you're one of those people that knows how to do vinyl and you have all those kinds of things, you could make your QR code and make like a cute little thing on Canva and then have it, you know, adhered to the jar. There's lots of little options that way that can make it fun. And like you said, you know, put your temptation basket up there on the counter while you're searching through the box and getting all of the gazillion leads because it's so on trend for you. And then you can have other you know, things that go along with that. I would recommend doing that in more of a like maybe a salon type of a setting. Like know your audience. You probably don't want to go put an apothecary jar in like the post office or something like that. But like a little setting or a little office, even the bank you bank with, maybe they'll let you put it there. So that's just one thought that I was thinking of when you had mentioned those photo frames. And I do remember Allie's tracking sheet and it was phenomenal. So I think that's out there on the Inspired page already.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. I love that idea. I think the logo and you know, you can like print stickers on Canva. There's so many things you can create on Canva, but something that's catchy for you, like your brand and filling it with candy. I think that is a fabulous idea. And then you can still have your picture frame there, but it's something for them to draw them to it too. So that's great. Thanks for sharing.
Sure.
Anybody else have any ideas for leads?
I think you talked about it sort of, but one of the ways, and I did this probably at least a couple times in my career to really increase customer base, it maybe even if not double it, but the gift of friendship where, and I was challenged to do this by my director. I didn't want to do it. I just thought, I'm not doing that. But there were a couple of times when I really needed to do that as kind of a up and coming director. I called each one of my customers, my good customers, you know, that were on skincare at least, and said, you know, part of my business, building my business is through word of mouth and referrals. That's how we love, and I love how April always says, sharing me with your friends, those words, but basically letting them know that, asking them if they can give you just 3 names of people that they wouldn't mind you offering them a complimentary facial and makeover with a $25 certificate in their name, kind of a thing. You can use whatever amount you want, but $25 is what we used to do because it really only costs you $12.50 and you know they're going to buy more. And basically, and you let them know. Nowadays, you could just text that person and let them know, you know, so and so, your really good friend offered you a gift of friendship, and it is facial and makeover complimentary with the $25 gift certificate from me because she, you know, and then I would tell them, why does this person deserve it? Like, because they're busy and she just thought you needed some pampering, and because you're so giving to so many people, but you don't always do things for yourself or whatever, you know, get specifics on why she's nominating you for the gift of friendship and try to get at least 3. They're going to tell you the people closest to them. It's usually like a mom and a sister and a best friend kind of a thing. And so when you reach out to those people, and I've had a lot of luck with that, you know, when I was really building and initially, I didn't really know a lot of people here, and I was okay at booking from bookings, and I got good at, you know, certain things, but I didn't want to warm chatter. And that really worked for me because I already had a relationship with them. This is people that I know love me and love the product. So that was a really easy way, quick way to really build that customer base, if not double overnight, you know, by asking for them to just share their top 3 people. And again, letting them know this is coming from you to them, but it's not going to cost you anything. So it's just a really simple idea, gift of friendship, and, you know, finding out why she's nominating each person and sharing that so that it feels very personalized. And again, you could even write something up, take her picture, you know, have her write it up, have her signature or her picture, or, you know, something. Obviously she knows that you know her if she gave that phone number. So a lot of times they won't give you 10, but they might give you 1 or 3. You know, who do you know that might enjoy some pampering and who deserves? So there's lots of angles that you can take with that. Is that I selected you because you're such a great customer and I really appreciate your business and I want to give them a gift in your name, kind of a thing. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. I love
Yeah,
that. I think
It's,
that's
it's
great.
easy. I mean, it's easy to do. And we could do it in Valentine's, in honor of Valentine's Day, because some people don't get anything, Maybe they don't
Yeah.
have a significant other, or maybe they're lame. Not everybody, not all the guys out there have been trained, and taught how to be chivalrous or whatever. So this would be a great time of year to do it right now. So anyway, that's my idea.
Absolutely. I love it. I thought of one more. It's social media wise. It was a post that I had done. You guys can go find it on my Instagram and my Facebook, but it's the one with the mailbox. It's like, I did it in August, I think. But yeah, August 22nd. It just says, I know there are a lot of people who are feeling stressed out, tired, or both these days. So I'm doing something I love to do. I'm sending out delicious spa pampering packages. It's truly one of my favorite things. We all deserve a little self-care and pampering. Let me do that for you. I'll be sending out these 30 pampering packages, my treat, no charge, straight to those of you who you mention or claim them for yourselves. Does not matter where you are, or where your nominee lives, as long as it's in the USA. Think of family, friends, colleagues, teachers, healthcare workers, businesses, or professionals that you do business with yourself, whoever you think needs some pampering. And I have a little disclaimer at the bottom that if you already have your own MK gal or you're in MK, please ask her for one, because I'm sure she'd want to give you one too. And it is overwhelming, the responses that I get, mostly on my Facebook. On my Instagram, only got 4. On my Facebook, I think I passed out 60 packages last year, and this year I did about 45. And so it's kind of overwhelming a little bit. So make it a number, and then maybe you can take more. Update, I have some more left. So who else wants some? Don't let yourself get overwhelmed with it. But it was a huge response of people, and they were nominating other people for it. Deb, do please explain the vases. You're talking like the facial boxes, right, Deb? Oh, Kelly said. I'm like, I'm not reading the comments correctly. The facial vases, Kelly, are just like the facial boxes, but Deb has this really cute setup with a vase that she uses for them. And it's got like her QR code and her I think hers say text something to this number, to her number. I can't remember what the word is. And then she also has the actual physical paper pieces that go inside the vases. So she's hitting it from all 3 ways. People who like QR codes, those who want to text, and those who want to do old fashioned. All right, you guys, anybody else want to share? Any questions?
That makes perfect sense on the vases. And then I do just have one more thing that I was thinking of as you were talking. You had mentioned something about like partnering with like some people, like if you have a friend that's a hairdresser, like you share customers, or like a nail lady or something like that. And I had posted something the other day on social media about like everyone has like a nail lady and a massage lady and a this lady, but do you have a Mary Kay lady? And it kind of got me thinking that it would be maybe fun to partner with some of these kinds of people on social media and maybe make like a spa Facebook group. And so like each person in there, like you're the Mary Kay person in the group, and then there's like a hair person in the group or whatever. And then each person brings their customers into the group, and you can set parameters like you're allowed to post like once or twice a week in there. And so then you're getting like a collaboration of a bunch of different clientele that maybe you wouldn't reach normally. And then those people are also getting clientele that they wouldn't maybe reach normally. And it's kind of like a virtual craft show kind of a thing, like that concept.
I like that. And I think I've seen some groups on Facebook that are like that. It'd be cool to like look into that.
Kelly,
Yeah,
how did that thing go for you that you were doing? Remember where you were in a group and everybody got to do like featured stuff? It was pretty strict what you guys had to do. How did that go?
Yeah, so I think I've done 7 or 8 of them now throughout this whole holiday season, and I've learned a lot, and I've definitely have my opinion in a lot of those options. A couple of the groups were like so strict that I didn't like that format at all. And I'm sure, you know, just like everything else in life, some people are going to like this format and some people are going to like that one. So you want to be in the one that's going to work the most authentically for you is the great word to put on that. And so we had a couple of different options where each one of us, it was more like a vendor event. So like, you know, there was a Pampered Chef person and a Mary Kay and a Scentsy and, you know, that kind of stuff. And they tried really hard not to double up industries. So like, if I was in it for Mary Kay, I was the only skincare / makeup kind of a person. And what they would do is we would be required to have 15 to 20 of our own customers brought into the group.
Okay.
And then we had to pay, I think like $5 to $10 to be in the group. And what that money went towards is they would do drawings for like shopping sprees. And so like my $5 and so and so's $5, and I think they would limit it at maybe 40 different types of vendors so it wasn't too overwhelming. And then they would have the option to do the different kinds of sorry, my phone's ringing. Is it cutting out when I'm talking?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, so then they would do like you were allowed to make so many posts a day and you could make so many lives a week, and you just kind of went through the group that way. So everybody was participating and seeing all the different vendors. And I got a bunch of customers back east. I found a bunch of cool vendors that had like different items, and I bought a lot of my Christmas presents that way. And then we've all kind of like signed up on each other's VIP pages, and then they're in the industry but not necessarily a competitor, and so they're helping you boost your posts and you help them boost their posts on their individual pages and stuff. And I made a couple really good friends out of it too, so it was a really good learning experience. I would not recommend doing 4 of them simultaneously like I did over Black Friday, but there was a lot of good things, you know, that came of it. And if you want, I can put some stuff together so it's much better than me just rambling right now.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And we could kind of go over all of those details and how they did it.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Love that, Kelly. And it sounds like it's more, I had done a couple of those back when I first started Mary Kay, and it was like they had just first started putting those together, and it was like there was no rhyme or reason. And it sounds like it's way more like structured now.
It's definitely way more structured. But 1 to 2 people have to be very involved in the group almost constantly if you're gonna like monitor the posts and make sure that people are doing what you say. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is if you want to regulate it and keep it so strict, you have to make sure that there's somebody that's monitoring all of that. And that can get like time consuming and become a job all in of itself. So I would say, you know, find the middle ground on all of the suggestions, and I'll put it together and write everything out for us so we can talk about it on another night of like all of the details that went in and stuff on it.
That's awesome. Sounds good. Thanks for sharing, Kelly.
And we used to do these, I don't know how that would go over now because it's been a long time, but we used to do these once a month networking nights where we would bring in a vendor, you know, they would each do each vendor would do a table. We had charged them a little bit of money, not much. It was back when we had the Vision Quest Training Center, and we called it Women in Business Networking Night. And it was, you know, sponsored by Mary Kay. Of course, we were the main deal. So we got to get up and even talk a little bit about our business. Other people didn't. I mean, everyone got to talk about their business and share for just a few minutes, but then we got to do marketing. So I ended up recruiting so many people from other businesses that were the vendors just because we shared. And as you guys know, we get 50%, most get 20, you know, and their products aren't always consumable. So like we had the damsel in distress, we had the purses, we had remember those purses that you put the magnet thing over? What's that called? I used to have some.
Mishi bags.
Yeah, we had that. We had scarves, we had Crocs, we had like all these direct selling businesses, of course, all these different direct selling businesses. You know, not only, and I don't know like how much it was worth in terms of getting other people's customers. A lot of people would go, oh, I need a Mary Kay person. So they would come, but it was fun. And it was, you know, a way to bring, and I guess that's kind of what people are doing now on Facebook, doing it on social media instead. but it was fun and it was great energy and it was, everybody was, they were so impressed with Mary Kay's standard and image and all of that too. But that's just something, I'd love to get back to doing a few more things in person. If it's worth our time, kind of going back to like what really worked. We used to do glamour makeover nights and that was a ton of work and we didn't make much money. The photographer made all the money. So we decided not to do that anymore, even though it was fun. But
I feel like a business networking group would be cool.
it would be kind of fun, like
Yeah.
Me too.
a night of just coming together and setting it up. You set it up kind of open house style. Everybody has either their products or whatever they are selling. And then each person got like 5 minutes to talk about it and everybody donated one thing from their business. So people got to come and win all kinds of prizes and things like that. But that just came to mind just now of maybe something to think about.
Yeah. Even if you only did it like once a quarter or maybe twice a
Yeah, we
year,
don't have to do
make
it
it a
every month.
really big deal.
Yeah.
I think that would be super fun.
I
you
have
I
gonna-
think it would be, and the other thing you could always partner too with is a lot of times people like to do stuff that has a cause behind it. And
Mhm.
so
Yep.
how I originally met Rosie Ray was we were doing an event together over in my neck of the woods and we called it the Wine and Chocolate Affair. And it was always like centered around Valentine's Day. And then of course our cause was we were like raising awareness for like domestic violence against women and human trafficking and stuff like that. And then, people would pay to come to like the wine and chocolate event. And then part of the entertainment part of that was they would walk through like vendor alley basically, and all these different direct sale companies or craft people or whatever were there and they had their products they could sell, or, massage, like a chair massage for, 10 minutes or, all the different kinds of things. And it was another great way to bring, people together because sometimes there's different things within an event like that that touch different feels for different people. So maybe somebody doesn't know they need a Mary Kay lady, but they want to support human trafficking or something like that. And so that's an option too. We can always look into doing something like that. It's not really being done over here anymore. I don't know about your guys' area, but we can get creative and make some really fun some fun in-person events. People need that. We are all hiding behind social media and I get it and it's fun and there are awesome ways to use it, but we're also losing like the human connections.
And how
Yeah.
much time do we all have to get on there? Maybe that's the way I think about it, is that I don't really want to be getting on Facebook Lives or Zooms all the time,
Mhm.
And so, but in person, I think people are kind of starving to get out again. So, doing something once in a while with a lot of power packed might be fun.
Yeah, I agree. I'm
Yeah.
down for all that. Of course,
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of you guys for like 3 months, so I'm
I know,
jealous.
right? Yeah.
I
What
have
were you
something
gonna say, Kelsey?
I was just gonna say I have something I wanted to add for the social media notes. Another avenue people could use would be the Nextdoor app, which is just your immediate area. So I'm in the east of Allenbaugh area because I'm over off Liberty and Fairview, close to the mall. But so I also have Facebook and Instagram, but I don't do any of the other social medias because Facebook is too much for me and I just kind of tolerate Instagram as because I know a lot of people use it. But I started a Nextdoor account a while ago and I forgot about it, and then I started using it again, and I've actually got a lot of people reaching out to me because I made a post asking for like just saying I'm asking for 30 women or so to host a party with me or do a party with me, and I actually got a lot of people asking questions about it. I had a few people book and then cancel and say they're going to reschedule, but they haven't responded to my messages yet. But I've gotten more results from using Nextdoor than I have on Instagram or on Facebook or the few vendor events that I went to. So if someone out there is like me struggling with getting leads, that is another option. I just wanted to share that. I feel like I've had a lot of success with it, or at least I feel better about getting leads using Nextdoor.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that. That's another avenue people can use on social media. And
I
it's
think it's
pretty
awesome.
straightforward. It's pretty easy to use. One thing I did notice, there's the general feed where it's just everyone, and then there's groups. You can't post links in the general feed, but you can in the groups. So there's like a small business group, lost pets group, beauty groups, that kind of stuff. You can post links in those. But if you just make a post for the general public, it won't let you share any links to it. So it didn't even tell me. My post just never actually showed up. So I had to figure it that
Oh.
way.
Okay. Very good. Thanks for sharing, Kenzie.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're a little over. I'm going to do our inspirational close real quick. It says, stop worrying about what other people think of you and choose to focus on yourself instead. Focus on what makes you happy. Focus on what makes your soul feel at peace. You are your biggest commitment. So start loving your flaws, your awkwardness, your weirdness, your intensity, and your vulnerability. Life becomes so much more fulfilling when you're simply yourself. The world keeps spinning, whether people understand you or not. So why not make this next trip around the sun all about you? I like that because it's like, it makes me think of like being main character energy instead of like, the co-star. But all right, ladies, thank you so much for a great meeting. I love all of your shares, and we'll see you guys next week. Actually, we'll see you from leadership.
Bye, everyone. Have fun in
Bye.
Safe
Texas.
travels. Have a great time.
Thanks for a great class, Heidi.
Thank you.
Bye.